Hey everybody, this is Thunder Rosa, and you are in the Wrestling Epicenter.
You're listening to Interactive Wrestling Radio, featuring the interactive interview, courtesy of WrestlingEpicenter.com. Welcome back to WrestlingEpicenter.com. My name is James Walsh, and joining us on the Newsmaker line is a lady who's been everywhere lately. Lucha Underground, Ring of Honor, Wow, Women of Wrestling. She's all over the place. She is Thunder Rosa Kobra Moon. Are you there with us, ma'am?
Hi, I'm here. How you
It's
doing?
a pleasure to have you. I'm doing great. How are you doing today?
I am great. Great.
Well, first of all, I don't think it's too late to say congratulations on becoming a new American citizen.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. No, it's never too late, actually. I'm really proud. Now I have my passport, and I'm ready to travel anywhere in the world. And as you know, I'm about to go to Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling in about a month. So I'm ready.
Awesome. All right. So I was doing my research up on you, and I read something that kind of caught my eye. It said that you're currently signed to Ring of Honor Wrestling. Is that accurate? Are you officially there?
No, I'm not. That's not accurate. I am an independent contractor for everybody else except Lucha Underground at this moment.
Yep, I know all about that. Yeah, no, I just read that. Of course, Wikipedia is not always the most reliable source to get your information from, I guess, right?
No, not at all.
All right, well, let's start by talking a little bit about Ring of Honor. In recent weeks, we've seen you on television. You've been forming a tag team with Holodead as the Twisted Sisters. You've worked a lot of different places, but how do you like where Ring of Honor is at and where they're headed?
Well, I like the fact that we were able to have a storyline that actually gave us a lot of episodes on TV. And well, you know, wrestling things change, so you have to be ready for that. So sometimes we wrestle together, sometimes we wrestle singles and stuff. So it was really cool. You know, I got to work with Madison Rayne and Bray Baker, and then also just being around the locker room and talking to like some of the vets there. It was really cool, and seeing the transition of, you know, what Ring of Honor before AEW and now, you know, like how they part ways, and some of like the big stars part ways, and how like the entrance of newcomers and then how they becoming like big stars in ROH. It's pretty incredible. Like you just see like changes, and you have to change as things happen, and you have to do it quick before somebody else does, you know. So it's pretty cool. So I don't know right now what's going to happen with Ring of Honor. I know several people have left Ring of Honor,
Right.
have gotten signed. So there's two things. One, there's a great opportunity for people like me, for other newcomers to come and try to make an impact, and not ask them, but hopefully like they want you in the company. And two, it's a time to rebuild the women's division.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's kind of funny you mentioned Madison Rayne because they aired, I don't even know if you know this, but the week of the pay-per-view, they always air a show that's pre-taped because they can't air one. It's on syndication rights and all that kind of stuff. They aired the match that you had with Madison Rayne, and it actually was after she had left the company herself. How do you feel about her heading out of Ring of Honor and heading back to Impact? Any thoughts on that?
You know, she's a very outspoken woman, and she knows what she wants. I mean, she's been in the business since she was 19. I feel like when people switch companies or they ask for their releases because, you know, you feel like you can do some other stuff in some other places, or, you know, better opportunities have come and then you have to take them. So I feel at this point, Madison has decided to go where she feels that she will be doing better, you know, and Impact women's division is growing and is becoming stronger. So I think she wants to be part of that too.
Absolutely. Standard question I have to ask you, but since you are an independent contractor, would you be interested in checking out the Impact Knockouts division?
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's something that my team, my husband and I, we've been talking about, like the possibilities of, you know, working in different places or asking for opportunities per se. Right now, our focus is right now, like I said, Japan, and some other stuff are on the works. We're kind of like figure out what that is. But I mean, if that's something that I want to do, like, as definitely I have to, you know, go and reach out to them and see if it will be a possibility for me.
Awesome, awesome. All right, taking a quick step back, the first time I had a chance to see you was in Lucha Underground, and you had such an interesting persona, and a lot of it was built on your speaking abilities, your acting abilities, if I can say that. How did you enjoy that side of wrestling versus just the wrestling side, doing the backstage vignettes and videos that were almost like movies, and also being trusted inside of a arena with a live microphone? How did you enjoy that side of wrestling versus what you do in Ring of Honor, which is more wrestling side?
You know what? That's very interesting because people might think like we as wrestlers, we're trained to wrestle and we're trained to like have the best match possible. But when I started as a manager. So I always knew that if in any case I was to get, injured or whatever, that was another possibility that I could shine on, And this character especially is so different from all the other characters that you've seen on TV because it's very gimmicky. So I was really invested in making sure that the character went over, quote unquote, or like the people really engage with the character, because by the time that I was to wrestle, I think it will make more of an impact. And it was a really good experience for me because English is my second language and most of my promos were in English. So
right.
Like pronunciation and like memorization and like things like that were very important. And yeah, we make mistakes, but thankfully TV does wonders and you can do other stuff and edit and stuff like that. But when it's live, it's very nerve-wracking because you have to make sure you do it the right way so you convey the story the right way, not only live but through the TV. So it was really good. I actually really do enjoy that part of the show because it challenged me. It challenged me in a different way. It challenged me in a way in where I have to be in a certain mindset, perform different emotions, and not only let me just kick you in the head and sell for me. No, it's like you have to act and make people so people can believe you.
Absolutely. And I'm going to be honest with you, I don't like to name drop, but we've had a few guests on recently that have had differing opinions on something that I know you're familiar with, which is intergender wrestling. A few weeks ago, we had on Glenn Gilberti, the Disco Inferno. He's on a bit of a crusade against women in wrestling as a whole. But then we had Jordan Grace on last week, and she surprised me with her answer, too. Do you think that mainstream America is ready to accept intergender wrestling at a national level, like a WWE, like an Impact, like a Ring of Honor? Do you think people would accept that on a national level?
I mean, people, they're introducing it little by little. People are not complaining about it. I mean, they're just saying well, the argument is always going to be a man will always beat a woman's butt, no matter what, because men is a man and that's it. But, for the sake of entertaining, once is more on in there in your face, I think people will believe it, especially if they do a good job on booking the matches. Because if you are doing you're booking a match where the girl's really small and the guy is really, really big, you're not going to make it believable. They have, whoever is making the story, they have to make it believable, So,
absolutely.
And then in that aspect, it will be accepted. But, and I mean, even now with movies, I just watched Captain Marvel. People were complaining that she was too powerful and people were just complaining. And I think it's because she was a woman, she was small, whatever. But, people are never going to be happy. Even when, with female matches still, they will still complain that they're not as good as the male matches. It's just still the same. So, I don't know, maybe I'll say I'll give it 2 more years and we will see. Because like I said, as soon as they start introducing it and they start playing it more and more and more, people are going to get used to it. They're not going to,
I think so.
Not everybody's going to accept that, but they're going to get used to it and it's just going to be normal.
All right. I agree. Kind of a rough question. Don't answer if you can't. But where is your status currently with Lucha Underground?
I mean, I'm still on the contract. It was announced. Cool. I mean, it was announced on Twitter that a couple of us were on trying to get our release, but I'm still under contract. I'm still working, and if the Lucha Underground starts again, I will continue to be Kobra Moon. And once things change, probably you guys will know before I do, because that's what usually happens. I'm, like I said, really thankful to the opportunities that I was given in Lucha Underground, and for the TV time, and for the learning experiences and everything. Lucha Underground. Lucha Underground will always be, my home, because I was pretty much homegrown there. Like, they gave me, nobody else did. And you're not hearing me bashing, because at the end of the day, I was the one who made the decision to sign this contract, and I was the one who made the decision to do that. So I am nothing but grateful with every single person in production, executive directors, with the writers. Like, they have been nothing but supportive and nice to me. I have nothing but good things to say about Lucha Underground, and because, like I said, they always supported me when I asked for support, and the same with MGM and so on and so forth. So the only thing that I didn't really, once the years pass and the months pass, is like the fact that we are not able to work with Lucha Underground and work with our characters the way that we thought we would. But this is part of the business.
Yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. And I wanted to praise you, by the way. You mentioned earlier on that English is not your first language. As a fan, I had no idea when I first saw you that English was not your first language. So you've adapted well. You
have to. In order to be successful, you have to adapt to your environment, and I guess that's my survival instinct too. Being an immigrant, you have to do what you have to do.
All right. So I was surprised to see when you appeared on Wow Women of Wrestling. In fact, I was watching that match when I got a Facebook message from you in response, which I thought was really cool. It was kind of a weird, I don't know, the cosmos aligned or something. But you were wrestling as Kobra Moon,
yep,
which I thought would have been just a Lucha Underground persona. How does that work? How do you decide which you're going to be? If you're going to be Thunder Rosa or Kobra Moon?
They said, Thunder Rosa, you are playing Kobra Moon in Wild Women's Wrestling, and I said, all right. That's literally, that's what I'm saying. Give me my gear, give me my stuff, and I'll play it. I got no problem, And I actually, in a way, I was kind of like, man, I wish I would have played, because I wanted to play something that was a WoW character, because I want to do that. But it is what it is, but I think I got a lot of really good reviews on my matches. I only had 2 matches.
I agree.
And I was able to show something that I was not able to show in Lucha Underground, which is the wrestling part. So that was, I really do enjoy them.
Excellent, excellent. So we kind of already discussed this in passing, but where we're at right now in women's wrestling is pretty immense. Not only was the Evolution pay-per-view big, where it was an all-women's pay-per-view, but it looks like women are going to main event WrestleMania. And on all platforms, Ring of Honor, Impact Wrestling, Lucha Underground, everywhere, women are a bigger part of the show than ever before. How do you feel about the women's revolution? And basically, I guess that's my question. How do you feel about the women's revolution?
There's still work to do, I will say. There's a lot more spaces for us. There's like a lot more female promotions, intergender promotions that are popping here and there. And right now we have the opportunity to work in very different places, because again, like you were saying, the platforms are different. It's not only WWE or TNA. It's like WWE, TNA, Impact, AEW, all the indie,
right.
Women of Wrestling, what else?
MLW.
Yeah, it's like there's so many. There is still a couple companies that don't have women matches, but I think they're getting to that point in where they will start having women's matches. I think that, like I said, there's still a lot of work to do, because in the mainstream indie shows, there's usually only space for 1 or 2 female matches, and that's it. So it's very competitive. And now we have a lot more wrestlers coming up, and it's becoming more competitive. But I think that's good, because that forces you to get out of your comfort zone and really become an athlete, because they're looking for a full-on athlete. Like, somebody can flip, somebody can wrestle, somebody can fight, everything. So yeah, it's a different era.
Brand new world, right? All right, final question for you. I don't know how much you could discuss it because of your earlier mentioned conflicts with Lucha Underground, but AEW seems to be reshaping the wrestling industry. A lot of people are looking at it to be the next WCW, the next company that will potentially compete with WWE or be on the same level as them. As a performer, what interest do you have in AEW, and what are you looking for from those guys?
Well, I know a lot of the people that are in the show right now that got signed that work with me. So now new talent. I mean, I would like to be part of, that up and coming talent and be like, oh yeah, I was like one of the first ones that got signed. I mean, I think everybody will at one point, especially when you're grinding so hard and you're working so hard to make a name for yourself. Like that's what you want. Like at the end, that should. I mean, I will say that should be your end goal. There's no question. I would like to have a bigger opportunity than the ones that I already had, because when I started wrestling, it was always I have a sense of urgency, and I knew that I wasn't gonna be probably wrestling for 20 years. I wanted to do it in a certain amount of time and be the most successful that I will ever be in that amount of time. Because I always told my husband, like, if I'm gonna do this, I want to be one of the most successful female Mexican-born wrestlers in the United States.
You're on your way. You're definitely on your way.
And that's what I'm working on. And I have a very short time. It's like I'm in a hurry, but I'm like I have a very short time because I want to do other stuff, but I want to be able to do as much as I can with the platforms that are given to me.
Awesome. Well, I can't thank you enough for spending this time with us. I just have one last favor to ask of you. If you don't mind, do you mind giving me a station ID, just saying this is Kobra Moon or Thunder Rosa, whichever you're more comfortable saying, and you're in the Wrestling Epicenter.
Hey, everybody, this is Thunder Rosa, and you are in the Wrestling Epicenter.
Awesome. I thank you so much. I hope that was a good amount of time, and I'm glad we got it in.
No, it was great. Your questions were on point. I really enjoyed them. I really enjoyed this interview.
All right, thank you. I'll send you a link to it over Facebook when I have it up online. I'll post it up on YouTube. I'll put it up in MP3 format, and I'll transcribe it and send it out to all the wrestling sites, so it'll get posted as a news item too.
Okay, thank you so much.
I appreciate it. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
This is the Wrestling Epicenter. For over 15 years, we've brought you the top names in professional wrestling for exclusive interviews. Everybody you see here has been interviewed by our site. But we're more than just interviews. So be sure and check out WrestlingEpicenter.com for news, results, information, and of course our store. WrestlingEpicenter.com, your #1 source for wrestling information.